Hey everyone, welcome back to the Habs Tonight channel. I'm Brandon Legacy. Joined here with me is Annik Lemire, and we are welcoming a brand new season starting off tonight. Montreal against Toronto. No better way to start the season, eh? Nick, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. How about you?
Doing good. Things are busy here. I don't know when's the last time I did a show, but little Easton's here now. Life's a little bit
Yes.
busier for Sharon and I. Got the house we're moving into this weekend, but it's hockey season, and that's what we're looking forward to.
Just making time for some pregame hockey. Feels like we've been away forever, but it's only been 2 months. Hasn't been that long. But like you said, feels like Christmas morning, getting up, ready for a hockey game, and especially against Toronto. Personally, I can't wait until we play other teams other than Canadian teams. It feels like we haven't done that in ages, but hockey is hockey, and tonight's where it starts.
Oh, for sure. And it's so exciting too. And one thing that is different with the Montreal Canadiens is there's a lot of new pieces. A lot of guys are out injured right now. Obviously, we know the stuff with Carey Price, and then Joel Edmondson's still out, Hoffman's out, Byron's still out, Weber, we don't know what's going on there. But it's going to be a completely different team, I think, in my opinion. But hey, it's the start of the year, and there's nowhere to go but up from the start. So hopefully the boys come out flying. It's going to be a good game, I think, tonight. I know the Leafs are a little banged up as well, but should be
Yeah.
interesting.
I think both teams are going to be missing key pieces. Obviously, on Toronto's side, you have Austin Matthews that's missing at least 3 games. I'm assuming due to his surgery that he had, and Mihayev, if that's how you pronounce his name. If not, I'm sorry. Got surgery this morning, so he's going to be missing a couple weeks. And I think we have Mitch Marner as well, who skated this morning. Not sure for tonight's game, so they might have 3 key pieces gone. But as do we, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's one big thing is obviously the Leafs have people missing. The Habs have people missing as well. But one thing that's piqued my interest too, and I've seen in the comments here a few times, is the decor for the Montreal Canadiens. We know that they stacked up on the wingers. Like the wingers on the forward group look pretty good, as well with the centers. I love seeing Jake Evans get that shot in the third line role. He's looked good. I'm happy he's doing well. But the decor is my question, I think, kind of going into the season. We know it'll steady up a bit once Edmondson gets back in there with Petrie, you got to assume. But so right now we're going to see Kulak with Petrie, Savard and Sherratt together, Romanov and Wideman. And now a lot of people have questions about this, but I'm going to remain positive because, I mean, Kulak and Petrie, they've shown they can play well together. Sherratt and Savard are both really experienced, and who's not to say that Ducharme doesn't do what he did in playoffs where that third pairing kind of just gets sprinkled in with the other guys as they get going here.
No, exactly. Obviously, it's the first game. You're bound to have some little quirks here and there. I'm expecting that last line with God, my brain's fried already. It's only game one. Romanov and Wideman. That's one thing that I'm expecting to maybe switch during the game. Not sure if it's going to stick as a pairing, but like you said, Jeff Petrie's been absolutely clutch for us in the long run in the absence of Weber. So I'm looking forward to see how he's going to be this season. Kulak has been steady. We saw it during the playoffs. I'm not too worried about that first line, but in the long run, I'm not sure if it's going to keep. I don't know. Are we going to make a move later on to acquire another defenseman? There's a lot of question marks in the defense area for sure.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised too if you see that third pairing kind of struggle a bit. I wouldn't be surprised if Ducharme kind of moves Romy up with Savard, then Sherratt, Wideman, or something like that, where you get a little bit more balance, a little bit more speed, because you know Sherratt and Savard will be your steady Eddie on D, getting the pucks out, blocking shots and stuff like that. Then Wideman and Romy can have a little bit of room to move. Yeah. So I could see that being a change in game. We'll see how it handles. We know the Leafs are at home tonight, so they get last change. So it's going to be big on Ducharme to see what he has starting off, especially trying to line match against the Leafs, who have home ice advantage tonight.
Yeah, for sure. And just to touch back on Wideman and Romanov, I think Wideman could be a great role model for Romy as well. Tons of experience, could take him under his wing and hopefully guide him. It's Romy's second season. Let's not forget that. So he still doesn't have a lot of NHL experience. Hasn't been in the lineup as much last year too, especially during the playoffs. But no, I'm happy to see a great game from Romy and probably a good season as well.
No, for sure. And I just quickly want to note to the people that are in the chat here, we see you guys interacting. We're going to send out the link and stuff for people to jump on the show if they'd like to. Just send us an email, jump on the show, tell us what you like, what you don't like about the team, what you're expecting, what you're excited for, who you want to see do well, maybe some expectations, maybe some hot takes. We like hearing those. We give out tons of them, get a lot of them wrong, take the heat, but it's all good fun. So if you guys want to come on the show, live at habstonight.com, don't be scared to jump on. We're all pretty nice here, and that's one thing we do here at Habs Tonight is we try to make this community fun, inclusive, and very positive. So anybody that wants to come on, live at habstonight.com, don't be afraid. Once you get on, it's fun, and the chat's pretty positive and inclusive as well. So love all of our fans of Habs Tonight, and love all the support too. I got to mention that. I know the summertime we slowed down a little bit, but we did do some big interviews. Gallagher, Suzuki, Evans, Paling, those just to name a few. So check those out if you haven't. But just glad to have everybody back. Glad to see chat interacting, having fun. It's the start of a new season. It's exciting.
It's been a long time coming. I'm excited. Just to answer, hold on, Nick here. Hold on, it's not clicking. Here we go. Dale is actually back home for a few weeks, so he's not going to be on. He's going to be spending time with his family, so we're going to let him enjoy family time and give him a little break here. So no Dale tonight, unfortunately.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, Dale got injured over in Sweden, and he's out long enough where he could get home quickly, see his kids, see his wife. So wishing Dale the best, Lauren and the kids. Happy Dale got home for a couple weeks there to see them for a bit because he's been over in Sweden since August. So just happy they're back together. So if he comes on sometime in the next couple of weeks, great. If not, we know we just spend time with family. But we're going to also, sorry, I just saw that Sarah comments here about the Galante interview. Yes, Derek and I are interviewing AJ Galante from the Danbury Trashers next week. For those who don't know, you got to watch the Untold Crime and Penalties. I think it is on Netflix because it's absolutely wild.
I watched for the first time this weekend because I got grief from Derek for not doing it earlier, and got hooked immediately. Such a great show, and AJ is going to be such a great guest to launch Crushing Cans season premiere. So I'm excited for you guys and hockey fans as well. It's going to be great.
Yeah, for sure. And I see one other comment here about Ryan Paling, about him going back to Laval. I think honestly that's the best case scenario for Ryan. I'd rather him down in Laval playing first line minutes, first power play, rather than coming in and out of the lineup at the Habs, maybe up in the bleachers per se as a healthy scratch. So I think it's a better spot for him right now. Evans, I think, played a little bit better. And I think Dom just rather have a veteran in Paquette or Perreault or even this Adam Brooks kid that they just signed over Paling playing fourth line. So happy to see that Paling's going to be playing some big minutes in Laval. And I just got to do a quick shout out to my mother there from Turks and Caicos. She jumped on a plane this morning down in Turks for a week. 40 degrees. So shout out to Mom. Hope you guys are having a great trip so far.
Enjoy the beach. I'm jealous.
Yeah. So
what are you deserved?
Yeah. What are you thinking on let's talk the Habs top 6 here. What are your thoughts on it? Let's pull up the lineup for tonight, and I want chat to jump in too if they have any thoughts about it. What's the feeling on the top 6? So we got the new addition in Christian Dvorak. We have a healthy Jonathan Drouin back with Anderson. That line looked good in preseason. And then obviously we have the top line at Toffoli, Suzuki, Caulfield that showed some promise there in the playoffs.
Personally, if I'm looking at the top 2 lines, they can be both of them can be the first liners, right? It's going to be a line that's going to keep doing this. In my opinion, there's no first line, and all of our lines are kind of like that, kind of like last year, where you can put him regarding the situation, you can just swap him. So I'm excited to see, obviously, Drouin on the first line, getting some huge minutes this season, and Dvorak, like you said, who's making his Habs debut tonight, and playing with Jonathan Drouin. Both of them have been that line, even with Josh Anderson, they've been looking amazing. The chemistry with the three of them is just insane. So I'm anxious to see it full speed for a game.
Yeah, and that's one thing too is with the new additions, Dvorak I think should help on the power play. A healthy Drouin is going to help as well, and then obviously some comments. Hoffman's going to be in there, power play specialist. I think he might be on the third line with Gallagher and Evans, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's tough to say. I've read some comments saying that Hoffman's a great power play guy. 5-on-5, I'm not sure. I haven't looked into it enough, so it'd be ignorant for me to say. But I could see him slotting in maybe with Evans and Gallagher. Armia Leckie on the fourth, I'm not sure, but Armia's looked really good in preseason. So I'm curious to see how Armia does, because he could force his hand maybe even up the lineup. Who knows?
What I'm expecting from Armia this season is just consistency. We know the skill that he has one-on-one on the penalty kill. He's an extremely skilled player, especially during the preseason. Like you just said, he was on fire every single night. He was on the ice for every single shift. So if we can see consistency from him every single game, I see no issues with Armia this year. He's inked in for a couple of years as well. So I guess if we touch back on Hoffman, it's going to be who comes out, right?
Exactly.
So it's a good but tough problem to have. Hoffman's going to help on the power play for sure. He's a whiz on that wing. But who do you take out? I guess it's going to be I don't want to say like, hey, if you're not playing well, you're going to get swapped. But I think that's going to be the outcome.
And right? And that's not always a negative thing too, because when the Habs are finally in a position now with the wingers, is the best players got to play, and who's going to give them the best chance to win. And I think Hoffman is going to be very valuable to the power play. I think that's one key thing Montreal needs to be consistent with this year is their power play. I mean, we've seen it struggle at times, and sometimes it's got hot at certain moments, but I'd like to see more consistency on the power play. I think Hoffman can do that. But like you said, who comes out? And it's almost still like a tryout for some of these wingers to solidify their role.
100% agreed. I'm hoping that finally with a full season of 82 games and a bit more time to practice, we're going to get to see an improvement on the power play with Alex Burrows. You know, last year he only got to implement his system here and there, not much practicing time. So I'm hoping it'll pay off this season and we'll finally see some changes. I kind of liked what I saw with Caulfield on the power play in the preseason, a little bit of improvement on that side, but I don't know. Is it going to be a good start like we usually do, and then it kind of starts going on a slippery slope? I'm kind of hoping it's going to be consistent for the whole year again, but I don't know. That's the one area I feel we need to just improve.
Yeah, for sure. And once you get that power play rolling, I think the team is deep enough up front. And then also with the addition of Edmondson coming back, the D-core I think will stable out. Obviously, when Pricey gets back, that's another big addition.
Yeah.
But we know Jake Allen can do it. We've seen Dale mention it, that Jake played great last year. Part of the reason why Montreal kind of sneaked into the playoffs as well and then caught fire. Yeah. But, hey, it's Jake's net to start. I'm really excited. And I think the team's going to be – I think it's going to surprise. I know we've kind of preached temper expectations a little bit just because there's a lot of new additions and a very short offseason for some of these guys.
Mm-hmm.
But I could see them also surprising too. And I'm not going out saying they're winning the cup, playing the parade, but I like the depth up front. They got multiple people that can score now. We've seen Anderson, Caulfield, Toffoli, Suzuki can score, Dvorak can score. I really do like the depth. I really like how the team is shaping up. But my only hesitancies with all the other fans is I'm a little bit curious with the defense to start.
Yeah, the defense is my only uncertainty, I would say, like you. Weber's such a key piece that we're missing this year. I think that's what's unbalancing the whole system. And obviously without Joel Edmondson to start the season, let's hope that his recovery speeds up and that within 2 to 3 weeks, as it was said, that he can jump on. But yeah, that's my only worry. Jake Allen, like you said, he's proved what he needed to prove. I'm not worried on that end. He's going to do what he needs to do for the first couple of weeks. And hopefully Pricer will be back before Christmas time and we'll get a little bit of normal into the locker room. If not, I liked what I saw from Samuel Montembeault during the other game. Up front was a little bit rocky, so I think that's why the game didn't go so well, but still looked pretty steady in my opinion. So if we give him a few chances, like it's a back-to-back, right? Tonight, do you start Allen again tomorrow, or do you give a chance to Montembeault right away?
Since they're playing Buffalo tomorrow, I'd go with, I'll say Monty because I don't want to butcher his name. I'd go with him tomorrow night. You're playing a Buffalo team that's obviously depleted. They've got a sideshow going on with the whole Eichel scenario.
Yeah.
I'd put the backup in tomorrow, and then you save Jake for Saturday night for the home opener, which most of the Habs Tonight team will be at. So if you're going to the game, Nick will be there, Shane, Steffi, James.
Yep.
Correct? Yeah.
Correct. Half the team.
Hopefully you guys can see some of the Habs Tonight crew at the game. If you see them, yell out to them, say hey. I'm sure they'll reciprocate. But before we get going even further, we have our first guest of the new season jumping on the Habs Tonight show. Damon, how's it going, buddy? How are you doing?
Going good. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Good. Thank you.
Looking forward to this new season, and things are going to be very competitive in the Atlantic, it looks like right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just me who sees it like this, but every game against a divisional rival for Montreal this year is going to be a playoff game, and tonight's definitely not an exception. Got to come out there with the right energy tonight and get the matchups we want.
There's no time for slacking this season. Every game is worth almost 4 points, right? It's like you said, it's going to be a playoff atmosphere, especially with full barns. There's no time to slack.
Exactly. Like, I want your opinion on this. Like, since Matthews is going to be out tonight, do you think we should match up Jake Evans and put him more in the full Danault role that Danault played last year and sort of match up his line against Tavares' line tonight? And then whenever Matthews is healthy, we match him up against Matthews?
That's not a terrible decision.
Yeah.
Because Galley's been a part of it. Jake can play D. We know Armia is responsible defense as well. I wouldn't be surprised if that's part of the game plan. I'm not sure if they'll be exactly line matching off the first game, but I wouldn't be surprised because how Ducharme much always seems to be defense first. But that's a decent idea.
Yeah. Also, Ducharme is like really good with chemistry base. Like looking back at the 2018 World Juniors team, some really notable names got cut, and we managed to win the gold medal with the great chemistry our guys had.
Oh, fully agree.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Brando.
Oh no, I was just going to ask Damon, who are you most looking forward to this season? Like, who's the one guy you're really excited for?
For me, it's definitely, I'm really excited to see how Jonathan Drouin plays this season. It's unfortunate, like, what happened, and like I'm happy to hear that he's better and he's much healthier now. And I can't wait to see what he does, especially especially with Josh Anderson as his winger. They played really well together last year, and also with Dvorak as a number 2 center there. And centering that line, those two are really going to. That line together is going to really dominate. I just have that feeling, and just can't wait to see also Saturday night when he comes home and hopefully has a wonderful night there and puts up a couple points, especially tonight. Like putting up a lot of points against the Leafs would be nice. So I'm so excited to see him back.
Yeah, it should be pretty intense when he comes back. Home game. He deserves that ovation. I mean, just standing up and helping break the stigma towards mental health, kind of like Carey Price is doing. I've loved the energy that we've been seeing from Drouin in the preseason. So if that's just a foreshadowing of what's coming up during the season, I think he's going to be absolutely fine. He's got a great center between him, like you said, with Josh Anderson. And that line, just even in the preseason, looked absolutely wonderful. So it looks promising, right?
Yeah. I was actually at the game a couple Fridays ago where we lost Ottawa 7-2, and Drouin had 2 points. And I know the Montreal fans there were, when he got the assists, were all like standing up and cheering for him. So I can't wait to see what it's going to be like in a fully packed Bell Center.
I have chills just thinking about it. It's going to be great for him, and hopefully it gives him that extra little boost to be all over the ice. It's going to be amazing.
I agree.
That's why we preach old Habsitivity here at the Habs Tonight, just because Dale's mentioned it a million times is, yes, these guys make a lot of money, but the people side of it, the human side of it, and us as fans, we got to be better. And it's not just pointing the finger at anybody. It's all of us as a group. We need to be better, support these guys. Yes, there's going to be ups and downs. That's one thing you got to remember at the start of the season. There will be ups and downs. As much as we don't want the downs, or we think they're going to go 82-0 and win the cup, just remember these guys are humans, and they all struggle like we do. That's why I love what Drew and Price have done with the whole mental health aspect. I know it's really big. Dale talked about it, Nick and Deeks, but it's like what you said, Damon, is excited to see what Jonathan Drouin does, because he does look like a completely different person this year. Looks happy, looks healthy. So I'm excited as well. So I have to agree with you. That's who I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, like that. I remember I saw that interview. I think it was with RDS. He did it with like he looks like a new Jonathan Drouin just walking out in that interview room. So yeah, like I was just like so happy when I saw that interview to see that he's like much better and he's going to be really good this year. I just got that feeling.
I think it's just like a sign of relief coming from him that he's finally opened up about what's been going on in his life, and there's just less. Some people are saying there's more pressure on him to say, well, now that you've come out and say this is what's bothering me, you need to perform and prove it. I don't see it as a pressure. I see it as a sign of relief that he's finally going to be able to be himself. And like he said, once he starts feeling that anxiety or that anything that's going on, he knows how to manage it now. So he's going to be able to control it and hopefully not have it at the back of his head like a monkey all the time and bothering him. So as long as the fans are respectful towards what the players are doing right now, I think that's what matters best. And let's just give the boys a great standing O when they come on the ice to get them pumped up and ready for the season.
I agree. Yeah, I have a hot take for you guys. Do you guys think Romeo can work his way up to the top pair this year?
Ooh. Brandon, I'll let you go first. Put you on the hot spot.
I'd love for me this year, just taking into account how young Romanov still is and still getting used to the NHL. And I know he played last year, don't get me wrong, but I think with Edmondson coming back and Petrie, how well they played last year, I still think that's going to be the number one pair, but I'd be very happy to see Romanov get into the top four and stay there consistently. That would be my goal for Romanov. And then the next few years after that is when I see him in a top pairing role.
Yep. I agree with that.
Yeah, I don't, well, anything can happen, right? If let's say we keep losing defensemen or whatever, which knock on wood, we don't. Could happen where he's just playing exceptionally well and gets bumped up. But like Brando said, maybe down the line, it's his second year. I don't want to say it's second year jitters as well, but we all know that's a factor. And at some point it could influence him, but he's the future, right? As well as Caden Gooley.
Yeah. I really like what I saw from Gooley preseason.
Me too.
Yeah. I definitely think it's either between him and Perfetti for the captain of the World Junior team this year, but he played exceptionally well, and they're both like Romy and Gooley. I sort of see them both as top pair defensemen. It's going to be so exciting to see what they can do in the future. Like Romy's more of the physical kind and like of defenseman, and Gooley's more of I like to use this as an analogy, the Colton Parayko kind. Like he's still pretty physical and more laid back, but yeah, like that. But he does have a really good shot, Gooley.
He's absolutely huge, and he's only still growing, right? He's just a little kid still. But no, Gishelm said he's going to be the guy that you rely on in the future, and he's going to be within the organization for a really long time. So I'm happy. We talked about this the other day too with, I think it was Deeks and Dale. We said we're happy that they're sending him down and they don't just keep him up just for the sake of keeping him up, you know? Let him get a full year's experience. If he goes back to Laval, let him go back to the Rocket. Just don't rush his development. Yep. That's my one thing here that I'm happy that they sent him down and not keep him for just 9 games just for the, pardon the language, but just for the shit of it, right?
Right. He was also looking to get the C in Prince Albert, I know. So he's still the captain there. So it's a pretty good leadership role down there. And hopefully one day his leadership will generate to our team as well in the future.
Oh, for sure. I think it will. Because what I find when Gooley talks, it just looks and almost like sounds like Weber. Just the calm demeanor, the way he approaches things. It's kind of eerie in my opinion. I know some people may disagree, and that's fine. That's your opinion. But when I see Gooley, I just see it's almost like a young Weber for how calm and quiet he is, but like he's confident. And like you can already see the Habs already trust him enough where they thought about keeping him this year. But I'm so happy he's going back to junior because he gets to dominate minutes in the WHL. Then he gets to go play World Juniors, excel in that tournament. I want to see him dominate that lower level before he comes up. And if it takes another year in Laval after that, great. If he makes the Habs, great. Hope he does well.
Yeah. And also at the World Junior camp, I just got to say, like Gooley seemed like he was so motivated to at least get Canada to the gold this year because he was talking about last year's disappointment in the tournament. He's like, 21 bad minutes cost us a tournament, and like he sounded more motivated than ever with his leadership. And yeah, I'm so excited to see what this World Junior team can do, and also with Gooley as hopefully the captain, but he'll definitely be wearing a letter for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Much deserved as well.
Yeah.
I saw a comment here. Somebody saying, how much time does Byron have left to be on the injury reserve, which I believe is still a few months.
He was skating the other day.
He was skating. So I was going to ask, do you guys think he maybe comes back before time? Is that a possibility?
I definitely think there is, because like he's had because like the thing is with a lot of hockey injuries, at least in my mind, is that some guys come back earlier than at least than I've expected before. As I'm sure we all remember, like 2015, I thought Patrick Kane would come back middle of the playoffs, but then like he came back right when they started.
Yeah.
But the thing is with Byron is I wouldn't be too surprised if he comes back maybe like a month or two early, because Byron's he's really worked hard. And actually, I live like a 5-minute drive from where he played his junior B hockey at the Ottawa West.
No way.
Yeah. And he came off like a really good playoff performance. So I can't wait to see what he does this year when he's healthy.
Where do you slot him in, though? Let's say you have Hoffman back. Yeah. You already have to slot Hoffman back in and take someone out. So in your opinion, where do you slide Byron back in?
For me, I see him in more of a bottom six role, but Montreal has in my mind what's a good problem, too many good wingers.
Yeah.
But I don't know, Byron, I don't know if this would this probably caused some controversy, but he has played center before.
Mm-hmm.
But like I don't know if maybe like we could switch him out with Perreault depending on like how Perreault's doing at the time, or like injuries. And I can't say I'm 100% sure where I'd slot him with Byron. The thing is, he's so versatile in my mind that you could put him either like anywhere. Like you can maybe you could put him center, you could put him wing.
Yeah.
Because I do know he did play center. I think it was with the Calgary. I think he played center for a bit. And also in NHL 21, like Byron is listed as like center and winger. So he's like a very versatile forward. And believe me, I've tried out him with Caulfield and Suzuki just for the fun of it, and they did play well. So
it's confirmed right here, folks.
So Damon, before we let you go here, I want to get your thoughts on tonight's game. Do you have any predictions?
My prediction, it's going to be a close one tonight, because since both teams are banged up, but I see us coming out with the win. Maybe I don't know if it's going to be an overtime or if it's going to be a win that we sort of just hang on to towards the end. But I'm positive I feel good about tonight, and I think it's going to be a very close matchup. So yeah, I think it's maybe 3-2 Habs win.
We'll take it. That's for sure. 2 points is 4 points, right?
Yeah, 2 points is 4. Yeah.
All right, Damon, appreciate you jumping on. I hope you have a good time watching the game, and stay tuned to the show. If you want, jump in the chat.
Thank you. Take care, guys. Bye.
See you, Damon.
Bye. Always love when Damon comes on. Such a smart hockey knowledge guy.
It's fun seeing the reoccurring guests too, because that's when you know just the community that we've built it's fun because people aren't scared to come back on. Yeah. And I think we all kind of recognize the names in the chat as the season goes on, especially last year as it went on. We got our familiar faces. Like I see Ian in the chat now, Sarah, Shano's part of the team doing post game tonight with Deeks. So after the game, tune into our channel, Deeks and Shano bringing in the post game show. So where you guys can get your live reactions. Ian's saying 6-4 Habs, high scoring game.
That's what I was going to say. Ian has entered the chat. 6-4, hot
Ian
take.
bet the over.
Okay, so Ian, who scores the first goal?
And anybody that's watching Sportsnet or any of the warm-ups, let us know if Marner's in, because we know his game time decision. We just want to know.
Yeah, that's going to be... How do I say this? I'm already expecting a whole bunch of Leafs fans coming around and say, yeah, well, we didn't have our key players tonight. Yeah, well, guess what? We don't either. We've got a few missing as well. So let's see what's going to happen for these guys. To touch a bit on Toronto, I know we're Habs tonight, but we enjoy talking hockey and a bunch of different things. Do you think that Jack Campbell is going to be their starter for the season, or is he going to split with Mrazek, or depending on how he does? What's your thoughts?
I feel like they want Campbell to be the guy. Mrazek's that insurance policy for them. I can see it being a 60-40, 70-30 split either way, depending on who's playing better.
Mm-hmm.
It's really tough to say because I feel like in my head, I would say Mrazek's a better caliber. And that's just going off of
experience too, right?
Yeah, and then like I got no stats to prove my theory. I just in my head I feel like Mrazek's a better goalie, but I feel like Campbell, they want him to be that guy. And I feel like it's going to be, I think it's going to be split almost like how Pricey and Allen were doing it last year. Like, you're not just riding that one guy. And I think the Leafs essentially, I feel like the starters, like the starter is up for grabs for them personally.
Yeah.
I think they're hoping Campbell, but I think if Mrazek comes out and he's hot, they'll ride Mrazek. And they have it's a steady 1-2 punch, honestly. I'll have to give it to them.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's up there with the Islanders or some of these other teams, like 1-2 punch, but I believe Toronto's got a great 1A, 1B kind of scenario there.
Fully agree. I kind of think, I don't know, just to give my 2 cents, is after seeing the way Jack Campbell was after being eliminated last year, just the pressure that he puts on himself to be better, and he just looks hungry for it. So my hot take is that he's going to be the starter. Like you said, that's what they're probably hoping for. But best wishes to him, actually. He seems like a great guy and such a great kid that you saw last year, just pushing in his rookie year. So best wishes to Jack Campbell, obviously.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, and that's one thing he had to work on when he was in LA was, I think he was riding the emotional highs and lows too much, like getting too high, then also getting too low. And I think he's been a bit better at kind of maintaining that even keeled thing. Dale's preached about it a bunch. When you're playing in the NHL or any kind of pro league, regardless of what sport it is you have to remain kind of this even keel, because no matter what, there's ups and downs, and it's just how you get through those and how you stay consistent and do your job night in, night out. And that's what the hard thing is about the NHL is, speaking from what Dale said, I've never played, obviously, it's being consistent enough that those nights where you don't have it, but still doing your job enough that you can be trusted and put out there. And I think Campbell's getting better at that. And I do think it's, like you said, it's just going to be whoever's hot, and it's a 1-2 punch. I don't mind. But Mrazek's done it as well in Carolina. So I don't know. It's going to be tough. Like I said, I think after the first few weeks, I think the Leafs will know who like their main guy is.
Fully agreed. And just to touch on what Hugo said here, like Campbell said that first goal he let in on the Game 7 was his weakest goal, and it came at the most opportune time, right? Yeah. Worst time to let that goal in. And kind of like Nick Suzuki said when he was on our show, he went back and watched Tampa lift the cup and celebrate, so it could motivate him for this season. So that's what I'm hoping to see from Campbell, is that he's going to turn around and say, you know what, I know that I messed up that goal and I'm hungrier for it. So it's probably going to lead him to the number 1 spot. So let's see what happens in the Leafs land.
I like that too from our interview with Nick when he said that too, because we had people from the Habs reach out and tell us that they didn't even know that happened until Nick said it on our show, which is pretty cool. We were pretty pumped about that one. Marner is in the warm-up. Oh, boy. I was hoping maybe we'd get a little bit lucky, but hey.
Bring it on.
Bring it on. That's another guy. I'm curious how Marner and I know we're Habs tonight, but I'm just talking about the Leafs because we're playing them tonight. I'm curious how Marner and Matthews take the exit out of the playoffs last year. I'm curious if they come back with a vengeance. That's one thing that Montreal's got to pay attention for tonight. You know the Toronto Maple Leafs are coming out pissed off. They've been talking about it all preseason in their interviews. Tavares has even said it. They got an edge to them this season. They know this is likely the last time they have like that core, I'll say 5-6 guys, counting Riley and all that. So I'm curious how the Leafs come out.
Ian. Oh, Ian makes me laugh. Sorry. No, I fully agreed with what you said. It's going to be exciting to see how we're going to react to that, because I don't know. How do I say this? Not that we have a reputation to protect, but we're going to have to say, like, hey, we still deserve to win against you guys. We have something to prove too, right?
But, I agree. Yeah. But that's Montreal's thing tonight, is you're going to have to try to match the tempo, or you're going to have to come out with more tempo than the Leafs do, because the Leafs are going to have a pack. They said it sold out today. So that's a packed building, first time in 18 months, 20 months, however long it's been. And I don't mean this as a chirp, an embarrassing first round exit for them, being up 3-1. It's not a chirp or a slight against them. They're pissed off. They said they were embarrassed. So like, I'm curious, like, it's going to be you got to expect a hungry Leafs team, and Montreal's going to be ready to match that or be above that tempo before it even starts.
Brings me to, I guess it's not a different topic, but do you think we sent out Michael Pezzetta down to Laval, but the way that he has been playing in these kind of gritty games that we're going to get from teams, let's not forget, we're not playing Canadian teams anymore. We're going to be playing Toronto, Ottawa, Boston, Carolina. Do you think we could have benefited from having a guy like Michael Pezzetta in the lineup to play these type of games against a team that's still angry and still hungry to make you pay for what you did? That's basically what tonight is.
I understand what you're saying. I'm just curious because we know Anderson can kind of handle it. Sherrod, some of these guys like can handle it fine. But I loved how Pezzetta played. I knew there was a very, 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 very slim chance he would have made the team. But I mean, his preseason, how can you not root for a guy like that? Like I've mentioned before, like I'm a sucker for the third, fourth line guys that go out there and grind. They'll fight. They'll score the odd goal. They're that glue guy. Like I think that's why a lot of fans were fans of Dale, because Dale played that game of he'll fight, he'll score, he'll do anything up and down the lineup. He'll do anything for his teammates, anything for a win. And I get that vibe from Pezzetta. I mean, I remember watching him with Dad in preseason. I was like, man, I love how he plays. I know he's not going to make the team, but how can you not root for a guy like that?
Exactly. It makes me wonder as well, because you got tons of potential in Laval too. So is this a guy that you could feel comfortable calling up in the middle of the season?
Yeah. I'm not sure because it's going to be – I don't know how it's going to fit in with the game getting so fast and the skill and everything. That's the only thing I can see in Pezzetta's like downside maybe of getting called up is just how good some of these guys are. So I'm thinking I don't know if we'll see him. Especially I'm hoping Poehling kind of picks up his pace. And I think maybe his wrist wasn't completely 100% maybe. Mm-hmm. Because judging by like his preseason, he wasn't looking like he didn't look bad, but he didn't shine. I think Poehling would admit that he could have been a little bit better. Yeah. So I'm hoping Poehling gets down to Laval, plays those first line minutes, gets it back in that rhythm, gets his timing, and I hope he forces Montreal to be like, you have to call me up first because I'm playing so well.
Well said. He wasn't horrible. It's just I think we all expected so much more of him, and everybody had in mind like this is his year. Especially after the interview he did with us. If you guys haven't seen it, Ryan Poehling came on the show during the summer to talk about his rehab and everything that's been going on in the past couple of years as well. So we as a team here, we just expected to see him hungry for it and push. So I think we were just a little bit disappointed on that end. And like you said, he'd probably say the same. But you got to expect, like you said, if he plays key minutes with key teammates, he has to be one of your next call-ups. He has to. Yeah, and maybe he sticks, right?
Game last year, so.
Yeah, before his injury. So if it's 100% healed, no excuses why he can't do the same.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. And like I said, there's Hoffman, there's Byron, there's a few guys that are going to be pushing for spots here. So I don't know what happened there. I think Nick kind of bailed for a sec. But anyway, so it's just me talking. There she is again. There we are. Gee, I lost my train of thought.
Poehling.
No, I just mentioned the wingers coming back. It's gonna be tough. There's gonna be some roster decisions. You got to think there's gonna be a move coming because cap will not work once these guys get back off LTIR and the injury reserve. So there's got to be a move coming. There's too many wingers. That might be a plus side, maybe bringing a D in. I don't know. I have zero information on anything. I have zero sources, so don't quote me and start rumors.
You're not an insider?
Not an insider. But, thank you, Loris. We're happy to have him. Little Easton's doing well.
Little Easton.
Can't wait to watch the game with him tonight. Me and my dad are pretty pumped up.
That's so awesome. I'm so happy for you guys. Brandon just got some killer Habs Tonight clothes for his little guy too. So once he grows into it, he's going to be able to have little Easton make his Habs Tonight debut and show you guys some little onesies, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. But I think let's try to get somebody can email the show live@habstonight.com. Let's get a couple more fans in here before the game gets going. Pretty fired up. I want to hear what people's thoughts are if they want to come on. We'd love
For
to have
sure.
you on the show. First pregame show of the season. Back in the saddle. Feels like we had a couple of weeks off.
It feels like we've been off for months. It's been what, 2 weeks? I do not. I think let's ask Hab Fan Dan, who's most likely in the chat here. I think our internet thing is ending in November, so I don't know. Dan, let's switch the internet. This is me hinting him. If you guys have any questions in the chat as well, feel free to ask them if you're not comfortable to come on the show live. We're gonna answer
I want to
them
jump
here.
on Eric's comment there quick. I think it's because it's a little bit shorter of an off season than normal is why you're seeing a little bit more injuries. And training camp always seems like it's pulled groins, it's bruises and bumps where they're just day to day to get out, or they'll get hurt in the summer training. It kind of steadies off in the once the flow of the season gets going, they all have their timing and stuff. These guys are they're almost like robots where the game is it's all timing. And once they get into that rhythm, they're fine. It's just the start of the season. It's pulled groins, it's bruises and bumps, or off-season injuries, off-season surgeries, stuff like that. So I think once the season gets going, you'll see these guys kind of stay steady in the lineup besides like the fluke injuries or stuff like that. That's just my 2 cents on that one.
Yeah, for sure. Charles here asking if 25 goals for Drouin means a successful season. Ooh. Personally, I'm happy with like 20.
I'd say 15 to 20 would be a good season for Drew.
Yeah. Obviously, he's going to light it up
more assists.
Yeah, he's going to light up he's going to get the points. I'm not worried about the points. It's if he can get a few more goals, I guess that's the main thing we're all hoping for because we know he has the talent to do it. But hey, he's a great playmaker, right?
Actually, just made me think of more of a playmaker than a scorer. I saw a video of Connor McDavid working on his one-timers today because he wants to shoot more. You know how terrifying that is if he starts scoring more? He's going to have 200 points this year.
They said on TSN, I believe, that out of 40 attempts of a slap shot last year, he scored on 1 or something. Yes. So that's what he's trying to boost up. But yeah, that's absolutely terrifying. Like, but that's the only thing to his game.
Exactly. Once he gets better than everybody at that, he's better than everybody at everything.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. But I got a question. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to ask chat, just put the word of what you think. Cole Caulfield, 25 goals, over or under? Let's see what the chat says on this one. Because this seems to be the bar where everybody is kind of on the line of Caulfield this year. If he remains healthy, obviously.
Yeah. To put in my 2 cents, I said around 44, 45 points, 23 goals-ish. I'd be happy with that.
Got a few overs here, some unders.
Oh boy, yeah.
No pressure.
A lot more over, eh? Jeez. Well, it's being rumored now that he's winning the Calder, so you know.
Now I'm curious who that. I think that Trevor Zegras in Anaheim is going to do something.
Like reporters for TSN have all been saying, like TSN. Imagine that. Cole Caulfield for the Calder, but yeah, Zegras is going to be one to watch. Spencer Knight is going to be great as a rookie too.
If he wins that
Florida's
net over Bobrovsky,
a huge threat. Yeah. Florida's going to be intense to play against this year.
Oh, for sure. Like the Eastern Conference is strong. Ottawa's on the upbeat if they get Brady signed, which I imagine they almost have to soon. They can't go without Brady for too long. Shane Pinto, great suggestion, Cedric. He's looked decent. Yeah. I like that.
He's a Hab killer. Okay, so let me ask chat this question and you as well, Brando. So with the signing 8-year extension of Nick Suzuki at 7.85, what do you expect from Brady Tkachuk's camp? Like they're clearly asking for more.
He wants
Brady
a bridge.
Seems to be exactly. So do you think his numbers will impact Brady's requests? What are you expecting?
I'm not sure. I think they offered like 8 for 8, but Brady wants the 2 to 3 year deal so he can cash in more.
Yeah.
When he's going to be worth more in 2 or 3 years, and the Senators know that. That's why they want to go long. He wants to go short. And I think also, how is it not in the back of your head that your owner has got the reputation of not paying guys what they should or shipping them out? So I think I don't know it's necessarily money. I think it's the term where they're hung up on. And Ottawa, like, they're just at the cap floor. So I think they can afford to give him almost whatever he wants. It's the term that's kind of sticking because they don't want to walk him to free agency in 2 or 3 years or RFA, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't want to sign for longer because he knows he may be worth more. So he's betting on himself. So it's a very curious situation. It's something that's get resolved soon. If you're a Senators fan, it's got to be frustrating because your team's on the up, like they're on the upswing. Got some great prospects in their system. It's starting to come together now, and then just there's always something that seems to be just not happening right for them. So hopefully they get that resolved, because as much as I think Habs fan kind of soured on Brady because of the whole KK thing, let's be honest here.
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
if you had a guy like that on your team, everybody would love him. So you hope he gets it done soon, or they figure out some kind of resolution, because a guy like that, for a team that's kind of struggled, I know their fan base is still there, but they need that guy. He's the future captain of that team, in my opinion. So I'm just hoping to get that resolution, because I think the Sens will be decent in a few years.
I'm expecting the Sens to be decent this year. Last year, if it wasn't for those first 10 games, they probably would have inched a spot in the playoffs, right?
They're coming down the stretch. They're really good.
Exactly. So I don't know. I'm expecting a little bit more stability from Matt Murray from them. And I don't know. I think it's going to be close this year with them. And like you said, in the long run as well. Touching on what Derek said here, I think it's Darren Dreger this week on Twitter who said that Brady was also saying, allegedly, big allegedly here, that with Melnyk still being the owner as the Sens, he wouldn't be there for as many years as we thought he would, request a trade or be traded in the middle of his contract. So does he stay long-term with Ottawa with Melnyk being the owner?
I'm not sure, but I know what Derek's getting at. It's
yeah.
him and Brady and Matthew in St. Louis together.
Because Matthew has one more year on his contract.
Exactly.
So this year's a contract year for him.
But anyways, we'll circle back to the pregame show. Montreal, Toronto, coming up in about 15 minutes. Puck drops probably 20 minutes away, we'll say. So let's go back to, what are people thinking in the chat? Let's go overall Habs season, fresh new season, a lot of new faces. What are you guys' expectations at? What are you looking forward to? What did you like of the offseason moves and maybe this year's potential?
Yeah. I saw somebody, I lost the comment here, but somebody said, how many 20-plus goal scorers are we expecting from the boys this year? So how many players
get 20?
Get 20 or over? What do you think?
I think Caulfield can get 20. I think Anderson can get 20. Toffoli can.
Anderson?
Yeah, Anderson, Caulfield, Toffoli. I think Galley can get 20, depending.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez. Suzuki can. I think you could easily do that, because I think a lot of people sleep on Caulfield's playmaking ability as well, and how he can see the ice, especially with Toffoli, the power play time with beautiful man on the point. I think you could have, I'll say realistically, between 3 to 6 guys, 3 to 7 maybe. I'd love to see Armia get up to 15 or 20. Dvorak could get 20. Great point.
Yeah. We've got 2 lines that could easily rack up to 20. Jake Evans, I'd be satisfied with 13, 15.
Yeah.
It'll be perfect for him.
Hoffman, if he gets going on the power play, he could get up there.
Depending on when he gets back to.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's arguably, you can say anywhere between 4 to 7. We'll say, obviously with health and everything and how the team's doing and what's going on.
Yeah.
Geez, I was thinking of something too. Oh, I was watching the Pittsburgh game last night.
Yes.
I'm going to start a rumor.
Quickly. Oh boy.
Let's say Pittsburgh doesn't do well. Do you go after Letang?
No.
At deadline.
I don't touch that with a 10-foot pole.
Offensive D-man? Power play?
He is made out of chocolate, constantly hurt. I'm not touching that. I'm not questioning his ability to play hockey and his talent, but just for he's constantly hurt. No, I'm not touching that.
It's only borrowing him for the end of the year. If he stays healthy all year.
Nope, not touching that. That's just my opinion.
The old rumor, Crosby over Letang, Sid. But I think Sid gets to pick. I think Sid's like, I'm not going.
Yeah.
He's going to pull Mary on, like, give me stakes in the team and ride off in the sunset. Malkin's also, his contract's done.
There's a lot of contracts that are going to be coming up. It's going to be an interesting off season. We're not even there yet, and it's already interesting. But just to touch back on Pittsburgh, they're starting the year without Malkin and Crosby, right?
And Gensel, and they pounded Tampa 6-2.
Gensel too, yeah. And they got Tristan Jarvis.
Yeah, no, Tristan Yari.
Yari, it was close. Between the pipes, so if he can stay stable too, that's gonna help. But I don't know. I'm kind of even just watching Tampa last night. Tampa looked flat. They lost a lot of character.
It's very boring.
Yeah, okay, you gain Corey Perry and stuff, but I don't know. They just looked flat.
They did.
Which
the old cup hangover. Well, Kucherov probably stopped drinking yesterday morning. Man, those guys partied hard, but I mean, who wouldn't? You win 2 cups in a row.
Yeah.
Derek and I would still be hanging out upside down in McLean's pub.
Yeah, I'd be picking you guys up.
But sweet, before we get going here, I want to reiterate, you guys are going to the game Saturday night.
Yeah, so before the game, we're James Shaner and I are meeting up with my dad. Are meeting up at McLean's pub around 4 for supper. So if you guys are at the pub, come say hi. Come support McLean's pub in Montreal. Stuart has been a great host for some of us and great guy overall. So go support McLean's pub in Montreal if you can. And afterwards, we're all heading to the game. So if you're there, hit us up. We'll gladly come say hi. If you see us in the hallways, just come say hi.
And I imagine you guys will be wearing some kind of merch.
Yeah, well, jersey and probably Habs Tonight hat.
Perfect. And I'm not sure if James will have some merch on him or not. And I know
we're dropping some off to the boys. I know we got Gallagher, Suzuki, and a bunch of different guys on the team who requested to have some merch. So they're going to be rocking that in the after the games. That's for sure.
Yeah, so I'll be pumped to see some of the players wearing some of the Habs Tonight stuff. And then we're also crushing cans next week with AJ Galante of the Danbury Trashers. It's going to be wicked. It's going to be funny. I can't wait to interview this guy. I know hilarious. Derek's pretty excited. So tune into that, Crushing Cans next week. AJ Galante. Just see how he did that whole fiasco, the team, what went on, some of the inside stories, some of the funny stories. I know. It's going to be crazy.
17 years old. He's a president and GM of a hockey team.
A pro team, in a way.
Basically builds a mix of goon and slapshot together.
Yeah. And quickly, too, on our end, the Habs Tonight as a whole, I know we're preaching the Habsitivity and stuff. And we did leak that we did have some news that's coming soon. It's not going to be an interview. I'll let you guys know that. But we are in the works with something great here that should be fun and should benefit all fans, all people, all different walks of life. Can't wait till we can divulge a little bit more about what that's going to be. So I'm just going to let you guys know it's not an interview that we're working on, but it's something really, really big, and we're really excited to share it with you. But as soon as we get the green light to be able to share it, we will. So keep an eye on our socials. Make sure you follow us, whether you're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, wherever you are. Make sure you look up Habs Tonight. We're on most socials. And can't wait to get this season going. We're about 5 minutes away from the start of the 2022 season, I'll say.
Yep. Charles, it is not an interview, so do not expect any current, former player, anybody to come on the show to talk. It's not an interview. And when is it coming? As soon as we can get the green light with whoever and whatever we're doing, you guys will be the first to know. Trust me, we're excited not to be telling. Like, I wish I could just tell you right now, but sworn to secrecy, unfortunately.
We hoped it was going to be opening night, but we got to wait, I think, a few more days here. But we will begin some interviews rolling again. I know once either Dale gets back to Sweden or stuff like that, we'll try to get some of the current guys on the team maybe on when they got a few days off. We'll ask them, but the start of the season, we're not going to bug them, but maybe we'll go after some alumni guys.
I have Carl Alsner,
Yes.
a former Montreal Canadian and Washington Capitals guy, who's going to be coming on in the next few weeks, if not next week. We're just trying to plan everything ahead with Dale. Like I said, I want him to spend some time with his family here. So maybe when he gets back to Sweden, we can set that up. But Carl Alsner is definitely interested on coming to the show. That's going to be great. You have from Team Canada, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, we have Emmerich Mashmeyer lined up as well for an interview. She played for Lake Canadien in before that league shut down. Just a member of the Team Canada Gold World Championship team. Sorry, they're gearing up for the Olympics this winter. So we're going to get a little bit of a side of women's pro sports, what these girls are doing, Team Canada stuff, winning gold, and maybe some of the obstacles that the women are still facing in today's age with the pro sports and trying to get that league going. So we'll get Emmerich Mashmeyer on in the next couple of weeks as well. Carl Alsner, maybe some old alumni guys, AJ Galante on the Cans episode next week. So there's still going to be tons, and then hopefully sprinkle some current roster players in there as well.
For sure. And Autour de la Ligue with Shane and I is back on Mondays. We skipped this week. It was Thanksgiving and we were spending the day with our families. I think we deserved a little break. And so we're going to be back as of Tuesday. Cans next week. Don't forget that tonight we have the post-game show with Drew Deeks and Shane. It's going to be live after the final buzzer. So we're scheduled for 9:45, but if the game goes longer, obviously it's going to be pushed back a little. If not, join us at 9:45. The boys are going to be taking some calls and chatting with the fans. Should be exciting. And get your official Habs Tonight merch. HabsTonight.net. Brando's wearing the shirt and the cap. We've got tons of stuff coming your way for the new season. If you have any suggestions, we're always open to hearing them. So send them our way. If not, show some support and order some merch.
Sweet. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. Happy to get the first pregame show in the bag. Love all the support and all the positive things that we're doing in this community. So everybody enjoy the game, whoever you're watching it with, wherever you're watching. Be supportive, have fun. Let's make this a fun season and hopefully get back to that Stanley Cup final. Wouldn't that be nice?
And win it this time.
Win it this time. All right, guys. Have a great game. Have a good night. See you guys later on.
Cheers.